I got nominated to go to Japan. It's sponsored by Al Fatim. And suddenly, Yalla Osaka, we're on the plane. Let me show you how it went. I remember it was very surreal that I even texted a friend it's happening. They served us ghozi with a Japanese inspired salad. And of course, I had some tea. As we all know, this is where people stand up, they think they're in a race and just ignore the instruction. We arrived, those are our bags. This is Sarah intruding my videos casually. As we sat in the bus, we started sharing funny stories that happened on the plane. This is the room. We had some time. We had Family Mart next to us. That was my favorite place. I was intrigued by a vintage store, so I was walking, exploring the city. The humidity was crazy, but I actually needed a walk after a long flight. After walking for a while, I've reached this place. It was cozy. Went to this trinket vintage shop. It was intriguing. This neighborhood was very peaceful. I somehow ended up in a mall with photo booths. On the first night of our arrival, we had a communal dinner. Al Fatim were very generous with us. They literally ordered a feast. While I don't have any footage of this day, it was outstanding that we're all on this table with people we don't fully know, and suddenly we're sharing a meal and we're having conversations and we're throwing jokes. Oh, it was such a marvelous evening. The next day, since we had free time to explore, I decided to go to a matcha ceremony. It was also a workshop. There's something intriguing about learning a skill from another culture. So she introduced us about the different desserts and how they had different themes. Everything is very curated. So the bowls have thematics. Each season has a certain theme. And then she showed us how to make the matcha, the sounds, the ritual, the sitting. It's all part of the indulgence of this drink. And this is the big day when we're going to Expo. We first had in the program to go grab lunch. It felt like a Eid because we were well dressed and we were having a meal together. They started burning oud in the bus and it felt very nostalgic. It felt like grandmother's house. It made me think of that we take our traditions with us wherever we go. This is the big proud moment. We've reached the UAE Pavilion at Japan Expo. They welcomed us. The pavilion experience was poetically and beautifully curated. It had culture and the future. This is the image I sent my parents, like, hey, art could take us to places. And our full day program at Expo started. Our first stop was at the Panasonic Pavilion. They had an interactive experience where they monitor our navigation in the space, and based on our navigation, they tell us something about our personality. It was fascinating. Then we headed to the United States Pavilion. The queues were crazy. Thankfully, since we are the UAE Pavilion guests, they had everything pre-booked for us. I was delighted to see the Japan's Pavilion facade from Dubai Expo reimagined for the Women's Pavilion in Expo Japan. We felt like royalties because every time we walk, someone would stop us to take pictures with us, which was lovely. We came across this hybrid fused onigiri. It was a good treat before we ended our day in Expo. The bus routes had a lot of programming and entertainment, and it reminded me of road trips with family where we have conversations and stories on the way. The next morning, I went to the buffet, I grabbed coffee and some eggs and hash browns, and we had a full day programmed for Expo as well. There were peaceful moments like this and chaotic moments like this where people are gushing with their umbrellas. Then we went to Al Kuwait Pavilion. It was multi-sensory, it was fascinating and beautifully designed. With the heat, we needed a little break. We got hibiscus, it was refreshing. Then we continued our journey and went to the China Pavilion. After that, we went back to our pavilion, and I was very excited for this day because we had Emirati food in Japan. The after food coma hit us and we just wanted to slouch, but we had other plans. We were scheduled to see the Saudi Arabia pavilion. It was fascinating. That evening, Al Fatim invited us over ramen. We went to this place. They came with abundance of appetizers, and the ramen came. It was aromatic, warm, and cozy. Our dinner was scented with conversation, laughter, and flavor. Some of us went back to the hotel and some of us went to the center. I'm naturally walking here as I'm waiting. Here's an attempt of a photo. We grabbed a taxi and went back home. The next day we had to pack up and leave the hotel, check out. We were heading to Kyoto. Every story has its own plot twist. Two people did not wake up on time and we hear the story in the back chatter. The family mart across the street felt like a sight scene every time we went there. Our tour guide was very insightful and helpful. She took her job very passionately. She continuously wanted to inform us and keep us on track. Being engulfed with nature felt very refreshing. When we burnt wood in the bus, the tour guide told us that they also use incense to purify their kimonos, and I thought that was interesting. It was the first time I know that they also scent their clothes with smoke. The way we moved together and little incidents like this made this trip feel like a family trip. Al-Futtaim were very thoughtful in programming Japanese dining experiences to enhance our journey there. I was genuinely interested in what's in the box, what ingredients or what flavors we're about to eat here. Here we see glimpses of an incident as it happens. The bento box had chicken and fish and other ingredients. We went to the bamboo forest. It had a very earthy aroma. Here I'm just describing how I laughed my heart in this trip.
My favorite. يابا الصحن فيه الاكواب وبطيتي كوب اوريك على عمري بعراس.
Unfortunately, every trip has to end.
And I would really appreciate if you kindly handle your luggage to the checking counter.
We did last minute packing in the airport and we went back home. On our way back, we got more comfortable with each other, which resulted in the plane feeling like a majlis. And our story ended here. The journey started with a bunch of people that don't know each other, and it ended like a family. Thank you, Al-Futtaim, for bringing us together. With gratitude, Rashid.